Jeannie's story started with a chance meeting. She had no idea what to expect from the man she'd just met.
And he had asked me for my phone number, and I reached over to him and I said, well, you should know that I have 4-year-old twin boys that I'm never giving up. And he said, but you should know that I have season's tickets to Buffalo Bills and I'm never giving them up. So I realized then that I was meeting a man who had a very unique sense of humor.
As these two very special people began to share their lives, they found their connection in the sheer joy of being together and the humor they both enjoyed.
And he would pick on my family and I'd pick on his, and it was just, but it was all in jest and fun. None of it was ever meant or true, but nobody ever knew what was true and what wasn't true. And then we would get home and we'd laugh about it in bed, and he'd say, oh God, it's like being on stage all the time entertaining people. But it was never tiring for us. It was so second nature to us to make people laugh and to be funny with each other that it wasn't like we didn't enjoy it. We really enjoyed it.
They were soulmates who had found a second chance for love and happiness. Now, with 25 years of marriage behind them, Bob still has the tickets, and the boys were 27. They were both in perfect health. There was little that could disturb their enjoyment of life. Not even a slight fall Bob had while working in his garage.
And I thought he was fine, and he thought he was fine. And
The doctor ordered a muscle relaxant, but 3 days later, when Bob's bowels still hadn't functioned normally, Jeannie was worried. The emergency room doctor recommended surgery, but wanted more tests to confirm the possibility of a bowel obstruction.
Monday they did all those tests, and I was standing by his bed on Monday at around supper time. And he was very tired and very weak, and I was trying to give him sips of water with a spoon, and he stopped breathing.
The doctors immediately intubated Bob with a tube to keep his lungs inflated.
So the doctor sat across from me and she said, you'll need to make a very difficult decision about what to do. We can keep Bob alive like this for a long time, but it won't be Bob. He'll just be able to blink his eyes.
Jeannie learned that Bob had suffered 4 brainstem strokes. He would have no brain function if he continued living. Jeannie sat down with her children and her minister. Then she went to talk to Bob, as she always had.
And we had long chats and long talks, a lot of one-sided conversation, a lot of only me laughing, but I know he was laughing inside. And we talked about what was going to happen, and Bob put himself into a coma, a very deep coma that we couldn't reach him from anymore, so I knew that he knew what he wanted.
As Jeannie, her children, and her minister gathered around Bob's bed, they said goodbye to a wonderful man who had been unexpectedly taken away from the center of their world. At home, the house is now quiet. Jeannie misses the tall 6-foot man who was a big presence in their home, her life, but most of all, her heart.